what is a recollection of Ed that just stands out to you that maybe epitomizes your memory of him, or maybe who he was and his importance in your life?
Well, maybe two or three little things about Ed. I remember years and years ago when I was actually doing some of my own graduate work at Vanderbilt University and had read the two books on the history of the division uh, that he had done that were outgrowths of some of the dissertation work he had done and other work that he had done, which was so seminal in forming historical understanding of the Stone Campbell tradition. And I wrote him a note about a question. I don't remember what the question was. It was so long ago, but he responded with such a kind and generous uh, letter and sent me a copy of the second book autographed. So I've still got it right here on my bookshelf. He didn't know me. I'd never had him for a student. And I never actually had him as a teacher in a classroom, but I certainly learned from him. I mentioned this when he gave his papers to the ACU archives a number of years ago, that he had influenced me as well as many, many other people. The other two things I think of that he spoke once at the Disciples Historical Society. I think it was one of their read lectures. There were two or three people that were speaking, and he was one of the speakers. And it had to do something with maybe how his mind had changed, and he said, it hasn't. And then Randy Harris and I, when Randy and I were both still teaching at Lipscomb a number of years ago, were in charge of the Christian Scholars Conference. And so we had a session each night where different speakers spoke on how my mind has changed or stayed the same, which was an old series, I think back in Christian Century years ago. They had different people writing on. And in that lecture, this was a dinner lecture, he actually talked about some ways that things have, that he'd reconsidered, not reconsidered in any strong convictions or doctrinal stances, I don't think, but some ways that he had grown and in his own life and experiences that I thought were quite good and helpful, because he was such a thoughtful person. And those are the areas that I remember. Again, those are mostly scholarly area things, but they also are personal. They also have to do with how he interacted with